And Minnie Driver. Good to see you both, lovely. Chris, you've had obviously a brilliant and long career in comedy, but we were quite surprised to find out it wasn't always your first choice. You got into it quite late, didn't you?
Well, I mean, my degree is in software engineering. I'm a geek, you know, computers and maths were my things, and the plan was always to be a computer programmer, but you know, my eyesight deteriorated and I kind of lost the remains of my sight at the point I became qualified and was unemployed for a while and trying to find work and figuring out, you know, how to use a computer differently now I couldn't see and all that. And comedy was a dare. It was just a dare to do it once. So it was just meant to have a story to tell and see if I could be funny for 5 minutes. And you know, it's you do it once and then you get the bug, don't you? Here we are, 22 years later.
but also, is it true you applied and nearly got into MI5?
Nearly. When I was unemployed, yeah, I you know, as I said, I was kind of hitting a brick wall, you know, trying to do, you know, the thing I was qualified in, and I started applying for stuff, just different stuff, and MI5 were recruited, you know, literally to recruit spies. And I just sent in the application as a joke, and I didn't expect to hear back. And they had 3,000 applicants, and I got down to the last 30, the top 1% of potential spies that this country has to offer. A man that can't even play I Spy. And before they came to their senses, and the safety of the nation is better off for it, I reckon, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, that is an incredible story. But the thing is, Minnie, so Chris has written this book all about his sort of life and career, and you were a big fan of Chris on Strictly. You watched every week.
Yes. I can't get over this.
Yes.
This has made me a good man.
I told him before, and I said, I know The Waltz is what everybody talks about.
Never Walk Alone.
Do you know what? Yeah, the pressure before that was a lot because it meant a lot to so many people, that song, and you don't want to... It's one thing kind of doing an underwhelming jive to the Wayne's World theme, isn't it?
It wasn't underwhelming.
No,
I'll stand by it. I thought it was...
But the worry is that you would be underwhelming and, like, you know, there's less risk with Wayne's World than there is with something that means so much to so many people, and so the pressure was a lot, but... For it to be, I mean, I got messages from Evertonians and Man United fans saying, "I can't believe you've made me cry till You'll Never Walk Alone. I'll never forgive you for this." So you know you've done a good job when you're getting them messages, don't you?
Yeah, especially from rival teams. That's a massive compliment.
Yeah.
But also, Chris, Strictly gave you the confidence to write your new book, and in that book, you talk about your life's journey.
Yeah, and listen, it really did, because if I'd have wrote this book a year ago, it would have been a very different book. You know, I'm quite a private guy, and you don't let people in. You don't expose yourself in vulnerable ways. You know, I'm a 48-year-old bloke who grew up in Liverpool in the 80s, and I'm a comic. You know, I'm always going for the joke, and then suddenly you're on telly for 4 months, and they poke you with a stick until you cry in front of 10 million people, and your emotions are all over the place. And you, honestly, it really, the way it connected with people and a lot of the messages we got throughout it, it really affected me, and it really made me realise the value in sharing a lot of that vulnerability and that emotion and the other side of the coin that isn't just the comedy and the jokes, you know. So the books, I hope the book's funny and people like it, and there's lots of funny stuff in it, but I've also been able to share a lot more, I think, than I would have done a year ago.
Yeah.
God,
I mean,
that's amazing. I can't wait to read it, truly.
Yeah.
I just you saying that notion of, like, not being someone who would be able to share or even interested in sharing a sort of softer underbelly.
Yeah,
that is
well,
really
you
cool.
dig it all, bury it in, build a car park on top of it, you know. That's always been my attitude. But, you know, get it out there now while I'm, you know, before I can stitch myself back up again, maybe.
And then in the book, you also talk about, you said that you talk about the comedy, you talk about progressing through life, but you also talk about, you touch upon the subject, and you've just mentioned it there, about you progressively losing your eyesight.
Yeah, I mean, for me, and I didn't really realise this until I was writing it, I didn't plan it, I just started writing, and there's three things in the book, really, the big sections, and I lost my sight over 25 years, and I talk about that, but I talk about it in a way that's hopefully funny. There's lots of funny things that happen when you lose your sight, you know, but also, you know, in a way that lets people into the other side of the coin on that regard. And then obviously getting into comedy and becoming a comedian and doing a lot of the shows that people have seen me on. And then obviously doing Strictly, and it was really easy to write it in the state of mind I was in after Strictly. It really it was such an experience, you know, and it was it just came out of me. Like it wasn't a struggle at all, and so I'm really proud of how it's turned out, and I hope people like it. It's one of the things, the longer you write anything that's funny and that you think is funny, and on the 10th read, you're looking back over it going, I don't know if any of this is funny.
Aww.
So I hope people like it, and I hope people find it funny, but it's a big book,
They
isn't
will.
it? Big book.
Yeah.
It's like a proper adult wrote it.
Yeah.
Chris's autobiography, Keep Laughing, is out tomorrow.